kept faith with the homeland in so many ways. And I come from a very different Ireland now, as you know, an Ireland that's gone through an extraordinary time of transformation, peace and prosperity. Those things that were so elusive for so long have now arrived in Ireland. And if they have, and they have, it is thanks to our friends here in the United States, our families, who over the years sent back very hard-earned dollars and cents, God knows, to keep a very, very poor Ireland alive and to keep hope alive, who helped in our peace process, who invested in our industries, who helped us to grow to the kind of country that so many of those who left and came here knew we could be, knew we would be, but knew that they would not live to see. But they handed on the baton of faith and hope from generation to generation. So many of them who arrived here in Portland, Oregon, it was a long, long way even from New York or Boston where they arrived, wasn't it? It was another long onward journey. And here they came to this place where so very few had been before, and in a very short period of time they became a very, very big part of the story of Portland, Oregon. I think they came, in a very short period of time, 10% of the population was Irish. What did they bring with them? They brought with them very little by way of goods. Anybody who stood at Ellis Island will know that they came with their two hands to one length. But they came with such passion for the future, such absolute tenacity and resilience and robustness of spirit. And it is those people we celebrate here today because, and we commemorate. They left behind them a landscape that was so devastating that, you know, it would have been the easiest thing in the world to give up. It would have been so, so difficult. So impossible to think of living with nothing and heading out into a world that was full of unknown and unknowable things. And yet here were people of extraordinary courage. So many of them had left behind them families dead, families devastated. And yet they had to find spirit and joy enough to raise new families in a new homeland. So their spirit, their tenacity, their music they carried lightly, their dance they carried lightly, their songs, their stories, and above all their great gift of community, being able to gather like this, help one another, be friends and family and clan to one another. They did that over generations here in Portland as they did in so many other places. The DNA of the Irish is, you know, there's adversity in our DNA. God knows. It's there. It's there in, well, a large proportion of it. But the great thing about us is, the other thing that's in our DNA is that capacity to transcend adversity. And also the capacity not to forget. I think when I look around here and see so many people gathered on a cold and wintry day who have gone to such trouble these last few years to plan a memorial that would speak of their care, would speak of their pride, would speak of their sense of clan and community, stretching back down the years and stretching right across the sea to Ireland, linked both down through the centuries and right across today's world. I know the great work that has gone into both the choosing of memorial, the site for the memorial, and the work that has gone into the making of the memorial. I called up to see Brendan as he was making it in his lovely workshop up in Donegal, and I had a chance to see there the craftsmanship and the sheer passion that went into the making of it. The pride in the project in Donegal, believe me, was palpable, and I'm sure the pride will be palpable here today when you see the results of his work, because it's produced in the same manner that the original cross of the scriptures, which you'll find in Clonmacnoise, going way, way back a millennium and a half ago. It's made in the same way, handheld tools, blocks of stone, made by hand in that same long, loving way of old. And that first cross of the scriptures, when it was erected, it wasn't erected to mark any great saint, it wasn't erected in memory of a king or a fallen Celtic warrior. It was a symbol of spirit, it was a symbol of faith and a symbol of hope. And I suppose it would have been easy in making a famine memorial here to have given, as so many other places have done, figures to have created figures of just a great despair and great sorrow who would draw our pathos and our compassion. But this, I think, draws in this moment a different mood. It draws our pride, it draws our respect, it draws our admiration for their faith, for their resilience. And in these particular times that we are heading into, and every generation heads into its own crosses, its own form of crucifixion, its own form of challenge, and we head into quite difficult times now, both here, I'm sure, in Oregon and back home in Ireland. Having gone through good times, we now face the bubble of financial instability and difficulties, and so many people have a sense of foreboding. And when we unveil that cross, I think we feel from our cold toes upwards that lovely sense of faith and hope and determination that brought so many people here with nothing, with absolutely nothing, except the breath in their body and the strength in their hands and the faith in their heart. And please God, we leave the cemetery today full of determination that whatever we face, we'll face it with the same dignity, the same faith, the same determination, and please God, the same success. Because in you, in every one of you, is written their success. Your lives lived well, your good lives lived well. They sacrificed for you that you might know freedom, that you might know these times, and that when times got tough, you would do what they did. You would live in faith. You'd find space for joy in life. You'd find space for community. And so I want to thank all of those, every single one of those, who have given us this lovely day. We heard them recited there, the names of all those who have been involved. Perhaps the best thing I could say is you know who they are, and they are legion, these people who have given this great opportunity and this great day, this great bonding of kin and clan. Maybe you would give them a huge big round of applause to say thank you. It'll warm us up as well.